It's the show that doesn't end. It just goes on and on, my friends. Welcome back. It's Corked Stats, the fastest freaking show in MLB, absolutely anywhere with you fucking boy, yo. Big Johnny Stud coming to you worldwide. Brooklyn, New York, as always. Out the damn chair, as always. Out my fucking mind, as always. Up to 2 a.m. with the Source Crew. Shout out to all of them. I already saw USMC up in there, man. You working double duty on the night shift. Oh man, it's baseball's version of 300. Give the book nothing, take for
This is Sparta!
Yo, fuck that motherfucker. We actually took a day off. I think that's part. I feel really good. I've been trying to get back into, not say day betting, but not being such a baby. I don't bet it during the day. If you have a spot you like, you got to take the spot. And yesterday was kind of ugly. It was a short slate. I really wasn't digging it, and that's fine. But today, I'm feeling really recharged. You know, we're a couple percentage points ahead this year, which I'm really, really impressed by myself. Allow myself to impress myself. Listen, man, any edge that I have, right, we give out with the bottle every day. Then I do the show, give out more information. Markets move, put the picks out, in the early afternoon. So to be ahead and beating the public market, shout out to all of us out there, kind of doing the damn thing we do. Again, it's the Algo for all the new listeners and stuff. Model ranks, projections, everyday team totals, starting pitcher ranks, base props, hit run, ribby stuff, plus bets if you're into that kind of thing. What I think are, the best pitching sheets in the world. Best part of waking up. One of the best pieces of feedback I ever get is, how am I supposed to bet on baseball without this shit? It's the truth. Once you see what it's like to hit the ground running and have all this stuff in front of you, again, you get to start in second or third gear instead of gotta mine it, gotta find it, gotta scrape it, who is starting, who isn't. It's all fucking bullshit. Plus, some of these are proprietary and formulas of my own. So I got you every day. And remember, you get the earn run indicators. I don't think I pump those enough. I just never have time to do this shit. But I think we're testing out stronger. That's my MLBMA, the Major League Baseball moving averages indicator. I think we're tracking better than Sierra and expected ERA. So that would be the second year in a row that we've tested better during the offseason. I'm going to do the N+1 stuff. And if that tests out, we may just go kind of public with this, doing the thing we do. Me and the Corked Stats crew. All right, we got 16 games today. Fuck! Fuck! Because there's a double header. Let me just try and get a handle on the actual timing of this. Is it all at nighttime? Okay, game 1 of Milwaukee St. Louis, Misiorowski versus Dobbins. That's at 2 o'clock. Misiorowski and the Brewers by a fucking mile. The back end of the double headers, are always tough to handicap because we don't know what's going to happen. There could be, injuries, bullpen usage could be really wonky, right? Misiorowski could go 8, hand the ball to somebody if they're up 5, and the full bullpen is rested. Where I think Milwaukee might even have the emoji today. If not, I think they're worked, and if not, right, you're worked kind of anyway. It is going to be hot in St. Louis. Just keep an eye out on that. All right, I'm going to try and blow through this like as fast as possible. First up, Mr. Boyd, Matty Boyd, and the Baby Bears on the road, -118 down in B-More to face Shane Baz and the Blackbirds in orange vests, -102 for the Orioles. I've got Chicago pretty comfortably with the win here both ways. You could see, I know the Boyd ERA stuff is pretty whack. ERA whip combo, 508, 140 respectively, is kind of trash, but all the disciplinary stuff is fucking still very good. 19 KBB, 13.5 swing strike, 29 CSW with command control. He gets ahead, induces chases, wins in zone. It's all the bad luck stuff. 66 left on base, 355 BABIP. All that shit is going to regress, even if some of the misses have gotten punished. Boyd's only given up 4 home runs in 34 innings, so I think he's fine. I've been worrying a little bit more about Baltimore getting to lefties, scanning over to Baltimore versus lefties last 30 days. You can see it's really whack. They have a bunch of good lefties. I think the Cubs have the better offense here. I think we've got the better pitcher here. I like the Cubs to do their thing for sure. Quick bullpen check. I guess Baltimore right now has the edge. They're pitching better. Somehow, what is it? Tyler Wells is the new shutdown closer in the league. So just keep an eyeball on that. Maybe we like it for F5. I tend to think I just like the probably full game. I was kind of looking for a live price maybe on that F5 before I move. Cubs at minus 118, and it's same thing, minus 115. F5. So, I mean, I guess if you're not paying the tax, there's probably an argument both way. I think where we're looking to win this one is against Baz. So, you know what? Maybe I will put the F5. Oh, because I was up last night. You can see I put my picks from the show last night. I had Cubs full game. Also, you got to keep in mind at midnight, F5 stuff is mostly theoretical, right? Meaning if you see a 9 total, you can assume it's an F5 5. And you could usually assume, I don't know, 30-cent tax. Here we're not getting that, but just to give you an idea, sometimes the F5 stuff can be off at night. So that's why I'll usually defer to full game stuff because I want to give out picks that you can actually go bet. At the time, we have the, a little bit of hindsight now. And the price hasn't really moved, maybe a few cents towards the Cubs. So yeah, give me the Cubs. And let's move on. Next up, JT Ginn on the bump for the Atleticos. Elephants balancing on beach balls. They're on the road down in Detroit, Rock City. 8 Mile to face Tarika Scooble-Dooble-Doo. Minus 187, no surprise for the Tigres. The thing I was thinking is more along the lines of the under. You could see I had the 8 up on the board. I mean, do you have to handicap Scooble? He is very good at what he does. It's also a U8 minus 105. Maybe we could find a fairly priced 8.5. I think the sticking point here would be the market kind of underestimating JT Ginn, who I think is a good pitcher. And you got to be weary of these guys that pitch in pinball ballparks when they go on the road. Ginn has a pretty heavy home road split. Actually, no, he doesn't. Oh, yeah, he does. But he's good either way, to make my own point again. 375 ERA at home, 231 on the road. I don't know. I'm telling you, I'm fucking tired, man. The last 30 has not been great, but it's also been at home. So I tend to not really be too worried because you could see the Tigers' offense the last 2 weeks versus righties. 366 plate appearances. They've hit some home runs. Hard to get Ginn that way. But also they strike out too much. They don't take walks. And they're a little too passive. I think they might get shoved. Again, part of the calculus when you're betting an under with Scooble is we're kind of banking that he's going to go in, put up a bunch of fucking goose eggs. I was a little bit upset. I was hoping to get the 4.5 with the A's offense. But remember, that lineup is fucking taxed right now. I mean, I don't know if I can remember another time where, all right, Kurt's fine leadoff guy, more or less. They're missing Langoliers, Soderstrom, Rooker, Wilson. Those guys are legit. That's legit 4 of your top 5 everyday hitters, right? Wilson was batting 5th every day. Hard to bank on the Athletics to almost do anything, right? And again, the Tigers have been good. So I think offense is going to be a premium. Tigers bullpen's been pitching really well since they got Kenley back. I don't trust the A's bullpen as far as I could throw them. But if you want the 8 instead of the 4, that's what you're going to have to fucking deal with. I'm really not a fan of the F5 U4. Because, Ginn could give up a 3-run dong or something. That could be it. Yeah, so I think I'm sticking to the U8. We'll probably get people looking for Detroit on the cover. That's plus 118. I don't think that's a bad bet either. I like the plus money on a guy like Scoobs, of course. But the model is kind of pumping the brakes a little bit. Again, just not a lot of love for Detroit against Ginn, but they could easily pop them later on. And again, I think they both could cross, right? We could get this feels like a 4-1, 5-1, 4-2, 5-2, which of course are overs and the run line cover. Next up, Hurston Waldrop, my boy, is back for the Bravos. Now, I think he went once, but I'm kind of pumping the brakes until we see performance with distance because I'm not sure we got either. I think he got touched up, but the underpinning stuff was good. So that means we're like halfway home. Oh, he actually went 5 1/3. Shame on me. First L of the day. What could you do? He gave up 3, but he was fine. Again, the underpinning stuff for Waldrop was really good. Maybe I need to get back on board. Though innings can be misleading. Again, he went 5 1/3, only threw 76 pitches. So even if we're thinking we're going to get him into the low 80s, you're not like locked and loaded for like an easy 6. Though I think maybe I do feel comfortable about Waldrop going 5. This is somebody I've liked in the past. I was kind of drafting him in best ball coming into the season in the last round. I thought he would break camp in the rotation. Then he had the injury stuff, so I kind of backed away. But there is some, prospect pedigree in here. Remember, he was a top 25 overall pick, Herson Waldrop for the Bravos. So I think he'll be fine. Pittsburgh offense, has been very good. Now, the disciplinary stuff has been a little bit wild. They're flailing, they're chasing, losing in zone, resulting in lots of strikeouts. And I wonder if maybe Waldrop shoves too. I keep mentioning the underpinning stuff. I know I saw it this morning. Through those 5 1/3. I mean, listen, the K rate wasn't great, but 30 CSW getting ahead of everybody. And the guy's a fucking ground ball machine. So maybe he's able to take advantage of Pittsburgh. I wonder if anyone knows where I'm going. Yar, Paulie Skeens, man. I fucking love me likey Paulie Skeens. Paulie Skeens throw baseball good. But, oh man, if you've met on fucking my boy, he's been getting fucking housed. None of it makes any sense. He's fine. A little worried about the velo. That would be the only objective thing that's giving me worries. And the ick with Skeens, the velo is ticking down. But where is the flaw here? Show me. 65 left on base. That's the flaw. You can't control that necessarily. We'd like to see him get a little bit more of the breaking stuff over. But again, he's been really good. It's tough to shit on Skeens. If anything, he's been very good in that building. And that's with that opening day fucking shellacking. Even with the 5.7 ERA last 30 days, he's a 3.13 Sierra and a 24 KBB. He's fucking fine. Paulie Skeens is fine. I actually think we're getting ready for like the bounce back start where everyone has to eat that fucking cock. Like Kobayashi. So I think Skeen's going to throw. I think Skeen's going to throw a fucking no-hitter today. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. Because the Braves offense is ass. Now, Matt Olson is fucking rocking and rolling. We know he has massive spikes in the portfolio. But other than that, I'm really not buying it. Like, we kind of like Harris. I'm not saying they're all shit. But at least the back end of that lineup is fucking ass. 280 plate appearances versus Braves last 2 weeks versus righties. Just shitty batting, 226, 48 ground ball. So I think Skeens is going to eat their fucking lunch. You know what I'm saying? Like, as he should. Both bullpens have been okay. Braves, little meh lately, but I think you can defer to the season-long stuff because they're a very talented group. I put Pittsburgh for the win. That's where the model is going. Maybe looking for some of those balls from Waldrop to find grass. Other than that, maybe we're under the fucking 8. But I probably, you know what? I'm sorry, excuse me. The other thing I was mentioning about putting the picks up at night and how F5s aren't ubiquitous yet, whatever. The numbers I put up are the numbers that were live at, this is when I posted picks. So I run the model, hand the picks to Kyle, and then I go to fucking sleep because I've been up since 5 a.m. So at 9 p.m., Pittsburgh was minus 137. Iglesias blew the fucking save, and it shot up to minus 165. So now I'm probably closer to the 8 than the Pittsburgh money line, but really, just because of the price, I'm not going to be paying for the cover. Next up, it's the Nature Boy, Brian Woo, on the bump for the M's. They're on the road against more M's. Max Meyer and the mighty Marlins of Miami. Woo, alliteration aside. Minus 118, a slight favorite at the crib. Yeah, I don't know. Woo was catching strays yesterday, and I was not able to defend my boy because when I fucking turned over, when I was rocking, setting up the pitching sheets, I had Kirby going, and the fail point for all the boys last night was Woo on the road, and man, it's really been the case. I'm not like the biggest home road split guy, but it's been pretty crazy. You know, Brian Wu, 2.10 ERA at home and a 6.4 ERA on the road. Even again with the ERA last 30, similar to Skeens, the Sierra and KBB are fine. I think he's gonna be fine. It's a Seattle offense that's a major problem, and so is Max Meyer. He's been fucking awesome. Max Meyer has been legit awesome. Man, total breakout going on here. So I think the pitching is a little more comparable than maybe my compadres. I could give Meyer the edge, but let's say the Mariners were coming in at nice money. I'd have no problem going with Wu as a dog, getting very effective on a per inning basis. He's one of the best command and control guys in the bigs right now. But you could see the difference in offensive performance versus righties last 2 weeks. Both teams over 350 PAs. I mean, the Marlins have double the doubles, double the homers, almost 100 points of batting average, over 200 points of slug, almost 300 points of OPS. This is fucked up. Like Step Brothers joke. Yeah, now that seems kind of fucked up. Is that ketchup? So I do think the Marlins outlast, but man, I'm not buying this like, I don't know, Marlins kill shot. But man, that offense has been a lot of fun. Returning Liam Hicks, you get Stowers back, Owen Casey with the breakout, Otto Lopez, Xavier Edwards on their own trajectory is fucking kicking ass right now, taking plenty of names. Bullpens, Miami bullpen had been pitching really well. They've struggled a little bit, but I do think they'll be fine. I think it's more of a setup thing. So again, I'm to the under. I don't know if I want to pay for Miami to win this one. I do think they outlast them. Maybe I end up coming around. But frankly, I'd almost rather bet this one live. If it's close and I like Miami. I don't know if I could pay a tax to face Brian Wu. I don't have the confidence in the home road stuff. If that's what you're into, like, yo, me. Again, see, this is funny. So, home away stuff is very interesting. It's where, quants meet boomers. Somewhere in the middle is the fucking truth. My nose is starting to itch, so something's got to be true. Meaning, road stuff can be fucked up. Guy can have a special bed. Sounds stupid. Special pillow. Back, neck problems, sleeping in those places. Maybe he's hung like a fucking horse and he's out there banging, you know what I mean? Getting laid like a fucking egg on his road trips. And he's been, smashing the gash for the past fucking couple hours. I don't know. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe he's a really great guy and he misses his family. I don't know. But some guys do struggle with traveling. So I'm not saying home road is stupid. It's not stupid, but it is hard to quantify objectively. So that's the stuff that doesn't find its way into the model. Stuff that doesn't find its way into the model generally earworms its way into my fucking brain as stuff that I can't quantify, so I don't measure it. So I think Wu shoves. I do. I think Wu shoves. But I think Miami wins. So I think Miami wins if we get to the end. Next up, Willie Warren and the New York Yankees. They're on the road in Tampa to face my boy Ian Seymour and the flat fucking fish of Florida. Someone explained to me why the Yankees are not getting trashed in betting markets. Okay, and this is funny. We were fading the Yankees for a week. One of the plays I had now, again, I didn't bet it, so you could call me a fraud if you want, or you could just believe me because I have the receipt on the show. One of the bets, if I were to bet, would have been the Yankees. I thought the price on Schlittler was stupid. We mentioned him going to the curveball to add breaking pitches into his mostly fastball arsenal and how that could pay off, plus buying low on a great pitcher after a bad start. And it was like 1,000 degrees with the wind blowing out and he gave up a bunch of home runs, throwing high fastballs. It's not that hard to see how that can happen. That's not the case today. Yankee, I just can't believe that. Warren, he came out of the box really good. I'm a huge Yankee fan. We were calling bullshit on the Warren stuff from day one, right? It was never going to last. And now it's time to kind of reap that if people are still chasing him. It's the Yankees, and Will Warren has a 3.73 ERA. Who gives a fuck, yo? Who gives a fuck? Ian Seymour is an order of magnitude better than Warren. He is significantly better than Warren. He is everything. If you're in a more shallow fantasy league, or the deeper nerdy leagues, he's already rostered, but he could carry you. The rest of the way, Seymour's fucking mad good. He really is so good. Now, granted, his left on base is going to regress a little bit. We know that. But when you're rocking this kind of command and control with swing and miss and chase, like think about that. You get up, you get ahead. You now have the option to throw a competitive pitch to get guys to reach, to go up in the zone and get swings and misses. Like he fucking does everything. Seymour is legit good. And the Yankees offense is like the worst fucking thing you've ever seen versus like these last 30 days. Even I think this covers a little bit with Aaron Jones. That's how bad they've been. Nearly 20 KBB as an offense, 13 swing and strike, 31 hard hit, and a 276 ex Woba implies like 3.25 fucking runs. They're ass. The fucking Yankees are ass right now. Just terrible. Ray's offense is fucking hitting. I don't know how much of this is Junior Caminero. Feels like he's doing the majority of the heavy lifting here, but fucking so be it. The guy's a goddamn superstar. You know what I mean? He's a legit superstar. I didn't. Now, I kind of doubted him coming in. Again, not the talent. I'm more worried about the age and the price that people are paying in fantasy markets, you know, because I didn't think the Trop would play up the way it has. That was one thing I wanted to mention. That's been a new add to the sheets, thanks to Toast, who, I owe a fucking apology to. Would you believe that? It's my guy. I fucking love Toast, Joe. He's my brother from another mother. But Kyle was, internet friends, him like, a fucking hole in the wall. Kyle is calling him Sam, and so I thought it was Sam like he's Samuel. I obviously think his name was fucking Toast. And his name is not Sam, and I felt like a fucking asshole. So, Toast, if you hear me, if anyone in the Sauce Network, just know, I woke up, I felt really, really bad because he's my guy. That's my fucking boy, yo. Boy with a capital B. Him and Kyle, yo. I ride or die with those kids, for real. So, Toast is very polite. He also is very sharp. And this goes out to all of you. If there's something that's missing on the sheet, hit me up. If I got it, I'll add it. I don't put my entire database up there. I'm trying to keep this quick so we could look and read and digest. But he had asked if I could get access to home and road. And I will always tell you the truth. I said, I will get year to date. I don't want to start splitting. But I do think home and road is important, at least to know. We're not, banking on it solely, but we do want to know it as a data point. And it's really kind of set off a little bit of a brush fire for me. Just, again, not like I didn't think home and road mattered at all. I just was ignoring it because, again, things that are hard to quantify and hard to blah, 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 blah. Math is stupid. Me think I'm smarter than I am stuff. Back to what matters. Look at the difference with the Rays at home. They're a fucking wagon. They are a wagon at home. And by the way, the Yankees fucking suck on the road. But the Rays are a wagon at home. Elite discipline plus power. They're on base. They are fucking killing right now. And it's funny because they haven't even scored a ton of runs. They're winning a bunch of games. You don't really want to be messing with the Rays at home, if anybody's wondering. So that's the home and road split is after, to the right of all the splits on the year-to-date stuff. Again, I think in this case, you only want kind of the biggest samples. What's the saving grace here? I mean, Warren would have to go back in his bag. Rays would have to flop. Seymour gets touched and the bullpen is bad. I just think the Rays are the much better team here. Now, the Yankees bullpen is pretty tough, and I guess they have a couple bats that maybe we're still afraid of. Did Jazz leave hurt? I thought maybe Jazz left hurt. So I maybe want to see the lineup because he's like one of the last redeeming qualities here. Because what's his face? Seymour could go deep anyway. So I'm not like trying to run scared of the Yankees. But for me, it's usually a price thing. So it's minus 118. It's the same price F5. I don't know. They're at home. Sometimes I feel like at home you could go almost lean more towards the full game also. Right? Once you get through that top half of the inning, you have the edge. So give me Tampa. Next up, Tatsuya Imai on the bump for the Astros. They're on the road in the nation's capital to face Andrew Alvarez and the Nacionals. They're minus 122 at the crib, even money for Imai. This one kind of twisted me up and down and all around. I had said to Kyle, and I meant it, you could probably give me 4 segments of talking head time. And I think I could make a lucid and compelling argument for all 4 directions, right? Meaning Houston win, Washington win for the under and the over. So I'm a little bit torn. My strongest feeling was to the under and the 5. to avoid the 9 and not fuck with the Nats bullpen, which we know is just fucking. So, just from the top. Again, Imai was getting cracked. We were making money fading his ass. However, if you noticed, look at the game log. You got to go back 3 games, and this is why it's going to matter. He went like 6 shutout, struck out 1, walked 1, struck out 10. He goes 6, gives up 3. It was on the way out the door. Struck out 11. Of course, we were ready because I saw this. Of course, he got finger in the Kool-Aid. The Astros, who are good at R&D. Remember, don't fucking sell these organizations short. They're not just like, oh, this guy sucks, and we're not going to do anything about it. They said that he had a wicked split finger that wasn't really major league ready. They were still doing some adjustments. Apparently, they were ready for it. He starts to deploy it, see if you can guess when it happened. Right before the double-digit strikeout games. So it's like, oh, man, that's when I had the antenna up for maybe it's wheels up for this guy. Of course, he got crushed. So I'm buying, the dip on Imai. You could also say you're not buying it. It's too splitties, which can be very inconsistent in general. See Kevin Gausman. So there's your argument both ways for Imai, right? Imai is going to be good. Introduction of a new pitch, and we're kind of buying low off a rough spot, and we've seen an obvious ceiling, double-digit strikeouts back-to-back games. Remember, the Astros brought him in for that. That's what they didn't bring him in to have a fucking 6 ERA. Other side, Alvarez, who I also think is pretty good. Maybe not as good as Imai under a ceiling lens, right? From a ceiling perspective. They actually have a little bit of a Spider-Man gif. Lots of Ks, lots of walks, too many balls, not enough first strikes. Alvarez better on the ground. That's what we like. Because Houston hasn't hit lefties at all. As I'm talking, I'm flipping to correspond with my arguments. Now, just a quick tip. If you could tell, I always have it set up. I sort the very first column, because that's game order. I set righties for L14, lefties for L30, the year-to-date on the home away, and L7 is just one page. And that allows me, as I'm doing my analysis, to click, and keep the fucking momentum going. I'm really so torn. I want the under, right? So I think Alvarez should be good enough to get the Astros. They've also really haven't taken walks. So if he's going to be wild and they're not taking walks, maybe that's a plus for us. Other worry is the bad Imai, right? If we get the bad Imai against the good Nats offense, we could blow the over. But right now I'm seeing it. It's F5, U5, and it's minus fucking 112. Man, I really like those bets. But Nats is a good spot to hit. The weather's not great. It's not like 100 with the wind, so maybe we're in a good spot. I don't know. I think that's where I'm going to end up. I'm probably going to end up on this under because it moved up against our work. Again, not to say just quick CLV, because I talk a lot of shit about going against CLV for Major League Baseball, okay? The fucking fruit is not on the vine long enough to ripen. Whereas if you're legit going against like NFL CLV on a Sunday morning, you're probably doing it wrong. Now, granted, there have been points where I've done analysis on Monday and said, I predict the market to make this read and this move that I'm going to go against. That's a different story. So again, remember, 1,000 ways to skin a cat without scratching its asshole. Next up, Seth Lugo on the bump for the Royals with cheese. They're on the road in Queens to face the Let's Go Mets Go. Wind blowing in, and the Mets have the bullpen emoji. Devin Williams back-to-back, 52 pitches. He's probably unavailable. Luke Weaver back-to-back, 35, maybe? Brooks Raley back-to-back, 11 pitches. You might see him. But regardless, Mets bullpen had pitched well, but you're going to need Williams to be a part of that equation, I would think. Lugo's been broken, and Sanga's been worse. Even if they think they found something with Sanga, he threw like 40 fucking pitches the last time we saw him. How deep is he going, and who's getting the middle stuff? I'm really worried about this. I was like legit shocked that this price came in at a fucking 8 today. It's actually shot up to 8.5, you fucking scoundrel bastards. Damn it. I do that to myself. I didn't even notice, I didn't notice, what happens? I was just screaming about this fucking line yesterday, and a share moved. Okay, it's not that I don't think we could get to the 9. You could see I have both teams modeled over 4.25 runs. We could easily get a 4+4 = 9 scenario here. That's like totally in the cards. What's the problem? You can see I'm making my sour pussy face. I don't like it. I don't want it. You can tell I got young kids, right? You gotta have a good sense of humor to do this shit. Knowing that the price moved the full run, and it's a hard 8.5 also. Remember, sometimes the line will move. Oh, it moved from 8 to 8.5, but the price is crazy. So you can still find the initial one. You're not gonna find it. It's gone. It's 8.5 fucking solid. That's you get what you get, and you don't get upset. But I'm upset, so I'm probably not gonna take it. Maybe Jeff and the boys are gonna be on like a both team to score. I think this is a good pop for that. Both teams to score 2. I might even go to both teams to score 3. Quick shout out to the comments again. I got so much respect for you guys up there. USMC, like I mentioned, and Trent, good to see you, man. Bordia. And Jeff, of course, my guy. Don't work for me, brother. No block. And there he is. My boy Jamban. Whoa, Black Betty, Jamban. We shouted out yesterday. I don't know if you heard the podcast. I saw you like something on social media. Dan. Thank you, Dan. I'm a fucking idiot. I did. You listen. You never know what you're looking at when you read, like reading a license plate. You never know what the fuck it is. So thank you, Daniel. I appreciate you. Don, it's good to see you. I love to see new names in here. We got Thomas Reinhardt. What's going on? Big Johnny Stubb. What's going on? You damn thief. Good to see you. Long time no speak, my friend. B Rose. You are the man. Appreciate you, dude. I got so much love for you, Brian. I got mad love for you, bro. You have been around from the beginning. You have legit. You might be the first person to support me. I think I love you. And what am I so afraid of? He says Shea should be back. I would say that definitely matters. But at the same token, they're still really fucking hampered. And sometimes the first day back from injury, I'm not necessarily looking for guys to hit the ground running. Look at Raleigh. Raleigh came back a while ago. He still hasn't hit. So, whatever. Oh, look at this. No block. No, I hear you, bro. It says Skeens is an auto fade until they figure it out. Again, I'm going to keep being stupid, and I'm going to be sleeping under a fucking overpass while, you're fluffing up a big pillow full of fucking money. J-Man, good to see you, my guy. Oh, the nose got the Marlins ML. Again, you guys are the fucking best. All right, let's get back into this stuff and the fucking things. Who's next? My boy Zach Wheeler on the bump for the Fighting Phils, leaving Broad Street on the road, heading down to Cincinnati to face Andrew Abbott. Hey, Abbott. And the Red Legs. This is another one. The boys were not buying my spreadsheet fucking bullshit. Obviously, Wheeler is the fucking GOAT. He's the only guy that can have like shoulder fucking impingements coming into the season, and it makes him better. It's not the first time it's happened, by the way. Wheeler just doing everything: command, control, swing and miss, contact suppression, plus elevation, and strong splits across the board. Plus, you're getting distance. He's gone 18.5 outs on average per game. He's fucking crazy good with the 2 ERAs, even better on the road than at home. Just insane stuff. Abbott's been my hang up. I can't believe he keeps getting away with this. 6.7 KBB, 9.7 swing and strike, 26 CSW, 90 zone contact. But as the boys pointed out yesterday, maybe my love for the Phillies offense is a little bit misplaced. I do got to be fair. The stuff versus lefties has been pretty gross. I get it. I do. Maybe I was buying the anecdotal stuff, what I've seen L7 as I flip over there. Now, granted, it's not great, but it is a lot stronger, and it's the type of stuff we want to see against Abbott. Right? If you're going to hit the ball hard and put it in the air in Cincinnati, that's what we're looking for, especially with Wheeler on the bump. So I'm going to stay against my boys here, and they might be right. I think they were on an under, which also could make sense because it's a 9. Tempting unders in Cincy can be, a fool's errand, but none of these things are infallible. I don't know. Again, I'm always with all this regression stuff and the indicators, I'm that's the Pied Piper, leading me to the fucking slaughter. I have Phillies for like a solid cover, and it's at even money. So it's actually stuck there. I've actually gotten a couple cents on the Reds. So it looks like the public was buying Kyle and TV and Toasty over me. And, I get it. I'm just a fat guy screaming at his fucking computer. Next up, my boy Joey Cantillo on the bump for the Guards. They're on the road in the Twin City to face Taj Mahal, Bradley, and the fucking Twinks. I'm going to be upset if I lost my chance to get my 4.5 under. It looks like that's the play. That's exactly the play we want. Two guys that we like that are both in a fucking up crest right now. Again, these guys have big ceilings. Sometimes you get some inconsistency. I don't want to misquote it, so you're going to have to take my word for it. I saw a whole fucking thing on Cantillo. It had to be one of the sharps out there. There's very few people I'm taking. I hate to be that sounded so fucking arrogant. Oh man, that sounded so fucking arrogant. I'm very selective about the people I get pitching advice from, because a lot of it is just not as detailed or as nuanced as my own. That's fair. And there was a whole thing on Cantillo making an adjustment, and it's been liftoff for him. And, that's been the case. Fast forward to the L30, 117 whip, 372 ERA. Both of the indicators are strong, and the KBB up at 20. We love that from Cantillo. Remember, when he's not offering free passes, he's extremely effective. It might have even had to do with the first strike. So he's been extremely effective. And again, this was never a case of, oh, Cantillo's a fucking gas can, we got to get lucky. It was, yo, man, just that one little hair adjustment and he would be there. And I think we may have gotten it. Also, Cleveland, very good with R&D. There are places that we want to put our faith and our chips. Taj Mahal Bradley, also very much a topside pitcher. Lots of swing and miss. He does overuse the four-seamer a bit for me. But if you're facing Cleveland, like, who gives a fuck? Cleveland without J-Ram is just, like, not that impressive to me. I don't care. They've hit for some average, but they're leading the league in BABIPs. Like, that's the first thing to regress when you have a 5.5 barrel and you're not really doing anything else. They're not hitting home runs. The power is non-existent. The ISO's in the double digits. Sub 100 ISO. I'm not buying it at all. Twins offense is okay. They can be fun, but versus lefties is definitely the weak split. And without Buxton, he's the carrying tool. He's the fucking force multiplier, especially against lefties. Like, you could chalk him up for a leadoff home run against lefties more times than not. You're not going to get that. And I think the Twins' best hitters are lefties that don't hit lefties. So that number just feels off to me. I'm under the 8.5. But I'm not putting shit on the fucking Twins bullpen. So I know I was kind of talking crap before about, looking to avoid having a blow up, ruin an F5 that wouldn't otherwise blow the under for a full game. That said, Twins bullpen is fucking anus. Stinky, sweaty, scabby, fucking anus. And I am just out like the gout on that one. Yeah, give me under 4.5, minus 115. Next up, you got to pay the troll toll if you want to get into Peyton Toll's hole. He's on the pump for the Red Sox. They're minus 131 favorites on the road in Chicago on the wrong side of the tracks to face Noah Schultz and the Pale Hose. Again, I'm far under this one also if I didn't want to bury the lead. I know the stuff for Schultz under the hood doesn't look good. I'm going to put it up and I want to go check something on my own. Right? You can see the indicators, expected ERA, too many walks, too many balls, not enough chase. And I'm like, it just feels really out of character. Yeah, no shit. Because we think of Schultz as, this guy's a former first rounder. Again, he's only 22, so you want to cut him some fucking slack. But like big K stuff, big K stuff, big swinging miss stuff. He's never had a swinging strike, and K rate this low in his career. And again, maybe I'm making the mistake of watching the games. He did get touched up a little bit in that return start versus Baltimore, where we thought he might. We're always a fading debuts. But, he struck out 7 Orioles, and he was making guys look fucking stupid. There's guys like that. And to me, Schultz is that kind of guy. So he goes sinker, four-seamer, sweeper, cutter, change. I'm never a fucking fan of the sweeper first, but it's not a terrible sweeper, but he gets no whiffs. I don't get it. I don't get it, especially when he has a good four-seamer. It limits contact, gets a ton of whiffs, has a good spin profile, plus good velo. I'd imagine the shape is probably good as well. Shape is fantastic. Maybe a bit more, I shouldn't say that. The shape's a little more sync than I like, but I'm a fucking honk for horizontal run. Remember, horizontal run on your four-seamer is probably the best pathway to inducing and generating whiffs. So, I don't know. I'm kind of buying I'm kind of buying the bullshit here. I'm kind of buying the crappy spreadsheet. I guess the Red Sox have hit lefties a little bit. Are you buying this? I don't know if I'm buying this. I mean, the discipline has been good. Putting the ball in the air. It's just strange for me. Like, I think the thing that doesn't sit well, right? One of these things, not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. Would be the league best barrel rate with like the league worst hard hit rate. Those two things don't really fucking jive. And again, they swing and miss too much, which should be a boost for Schultz. But if you're seeing what I'm seeing, Red Sox taking walks, if Schultz is wild, they're not going to go outside of the zone for it, it seems. Then I remember also it was funny, the bullpen made for the most interesting part of the cap, probably because Boston's so good year to date, very good bullpen. White Sox kind of bad year to date. And we had a flip, right? A role reversal where the Red Sox have been kind of crappy, but you could see they're still keeping it down, getting chases, not giving up home runs. I believe in the arm talent. The White Sox have really been the big surprise here. We were talking about how adding or shifting pieces can kind of resonate throughout that bullpen to make a difference. And I guess it's the Grant Taylor stuff, right? Getting Taylor into that more prominent role has really been a huge boost for them where, Dominguez is kind of struggling, but he's not terrible. I think Taylor is filthy. So maybe that was one of those things where you get a capital C closer and everybody kind of slots in. Where Dominguez, I think, would be a perfectly cromulent 7th or 8th inning guy. I think he's fine for that role. I wouldn't have given him the bag to close games, especially when I had fucking Grant Taylor. But, here we are. Anyway, the White Sox are doing pretty good, if I'm not mistaken. What would we have gotten paid on this? White Sox are in first place right now in the division. And, I'm a fucking pussy. I'm a pussy. I have so many good future calls that I don't act on. So I'm like, I don't want to hang money on the fucking line for 6 months. Why would you fucking put minus 110 on the line for 6 months? But we were way over the White Sox total. I was like, this team is completely rebuilt. It's not the same. And that ended up being the case. I'm not going to say I pretended to think they were going to be where they are now, but they're just not a joke. Not a joke. Offense has struggled versus lefties, though, White Sox. And they're also they're wild on offense, right? They don't take walks. They're too aggressive. They swing and miss. So I think Toll is going to shove. See, I guess I'm under the 8.5. I put Boston win initially, just thinking Schultz doesn't have the edge, but you know what? I think the 8.5 is a little bit high for me. Next up, Jose Soriano on the bump for the Angels. They're on the road as 140 dogs down in Texas in the Lone Star State to face Jacob deGrom. Jake the Snake is minus 167, I guess with good reason. I don't know. Model came up very, 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 very chalky on this one. The boys were not buying it. Though as I was digging, it looked like Texas was coming in at 3.5. They are 3.5 minus 135. But LA is 2.5 minus 145. Does that mean the total dropped to 7? The total dropped to 7. You might just want to grab the CO Jones and go over. It is. Yeah, 07 minus 112. I really like Jake. I don't like Soriano. I like Texas to win and to score. But Toasty was making some really good points about just how good the Angels bullpen has been. I have it up on the board. 44 to third of just elite stuff, man. They've been incredible. They haven't taken a single loss in 2 weeks. Just 3 home runs in 44 innings. 291 Sierra, 111 whip. But to me, Soriano is the fail point. I know people are chasing him because of the ERA, and he does get swings and miss, which we like. But to me, he's entirely too wild, and there's too many hard-hit balls in play. And I feel like he doesn't have great put-away stuff. So to me, that's not a great combination and a guy that's going to get yoked from time to time. We've seen that. Now, granted, he's been like Hawk and Animal, fucking Road Warrior style, but we've also seen it fall apart a little bit. Last 30, I mean, he came out of the box so great. I don't think you can maintain that. DeGrom is the real one that's the force multiplier for me. He's really been humming. Do we trust the Angels? That's the part I don't fucking know, right? Turn off the lights and I'll glow. I was kind of hoping that it was the Soriano versus lefty split that would carry the day to a Texas cover. Because initially I was thinking, oh, we've got the bullpen also. Now I'm just not so sure. I've got a lot of mixed signals here. I'm not backing Soriano, meaning for me it's either Rangers run line, because again it's plus 135, and you know we love those, so they could be a candidate for the blend bet as well. Or I'm going over. I'm definitely not going under a 7. No fucking way. I think DeGrom, unfortunately, for as good as he is, the hang up is always the home runs, because he's, you're force feeding 1,000 miles an hour into the fucking zone all the time. Yeah, Model's got Texas for the clear cover. Anytime you're modeled over a run, you're talking run line territory. I don't know. I'll give it a little more thought. Next up, Zach Gallen on the bump for the Snakes, with shapes on their back. They're on the road in San Diego. To face, I had Johnny Brito. The boys were saying German Marquez. All right, it is German Marquez. I'm not sure if that makes does it make a difference? Does it make a difference? I don't think so. Now, this one was 8.5. And I was also screaming. Maybe I have to stop doing that. I was screaming about the over on this, and now it's a 9, it looks like. I'm actually checking BetStamp to see if I really fucking screwed the pooch on this one. No, you can find 8.5s. And a decent 8.5s too. 8.5 minus 115, that's a fine price. Looks like the big books are getting closer to minus 120. I don't know if I'm going to go there. I'm definitely not going 0.9. So for me, it's 8.5 or nothing, and the cap is pretty straightforward. Gallen's been terrible, and Marquez is fucking terrible. The Diamondbacks are starting to hit, and the Padres are starting to hit. It's pretty simple. The bullpens would probably be the hang-up. So that would be an interesting play. I don't do this often. Shit, but like I said, the total moving to 9, move the F5 to 5. So if you can find a book with full game 8.5, maybe you could get a 4.5. We want to go under. I don't know. I still tend to think the Padres bullpen is good, but holy hell, have they been fucking terrible. Padres have a 7 ERA and a 170 whip, 290 batting average allowed, 48% fly ball in fucking 2 weeks. How can you do that, man? But the worst number of all would be over 2 home runs per 9 across 61 innings. You can't do that, man. You can't do that, man. This is like a private residence, man. Damn, I gotta see Lebowski again. So, Jesus. Another fucking funny ass movie. But that shit is weird as hell. That fucking movie. Vagina. Say it. Vagina. Fucking weird. What a weird fucking movie that is. That was back in my fucking mescaline and fucking LSD days. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're going over that one or nothing at all. If you're funny, I didn't know that it was a Marquez, not Brito. So the guys were like, I'm San Diego or nothing for me. I was like, if you're paying juice to get Johnny fucking Brito, I was like, you're smoking crack rocks. Legit. But again, I don't think Marquez is that much better. So don't get too cute. Next up, Spencer Miles Davis on the bump for the Bluebirds. I need to double check that. He was not up. There was a lot of missing pieces on the strikeout board. So because I'm not a prop expert. I don't pretend to be. I do like to have my own work to compare to others, and since I do it, I share it, but I am also very transparent about how I get there, and it has to do with the line. I don't want to put out strikeout props without the line. I don't want, one, you can't bet it without a fucking line, and two, it's a percentage of what it is. So I wanted to make sure Miles is actually going to go, because that would 1,000% affect what we're trying to do. MGM does not have him listed, so let's not overreact. I had Toronto win if we were getting Miles. My guess is they're going to open for him, right? That's my guess. Now, I guess the Giants have hit a little bit, and I'm not really sure what they're so worried about. Could it be what I mean is, sometimes you'll get an opener that's a lefty when you face the Phillies because you're expecting Schwarber and Harper in the first inning. Kind of makes sense. But the Giants mix it up, right? You'll get Arias up top sometimes, Devers swap sometimes. Now you get Elliot Ramos back. headliner on my fantasy article. Hit 3 fucking bombs. Well, one was fake, but still. Also, Schmidt is righty, so my point was, and sometimes Lee gets mixed in there. He's a lefty. The point is, starting. I don't know which way you'd have to go. You'd need a really good pitcher, and I'm not sure. Does Toronto have one of those? They've opened with what's his face, like fucking Fisher, I think, a few times. He hasn't pitched in a couple days. Oh, it says he's on the bereavement list. I don't know. You think it could be Corbin? You think Corbin could open up for Miles? And the idea being Corbin, because he's like a starter, he can get you through the first set of lefties. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. So I'm going to leave this one. I thought it was Miles, so I like the Toronto win, but I wouldn't bet the money line without knowing who's pitching because you don't get your money back anymore. For the younger bettors out there wondering what the fuck I'm talking about, there was a time when if you bet a money line with a listed pitcher, it scratched. It pushed if it scratched, right? You push on a scratch and scratch and a push. So we'll keep an eye on it. I like Old McDonald because Toronto just hasn't done shit on offense, but I would have wanted this total at 8 or 8.5. I would have gone. Next up, Mikey Lorenzen on the bump for the Rocks on the road. In LA, Hollywood, always up to no good to face Justin Wrobleski and the Dodgers. I don't know, man. I don't know. It feels so fucking corny to be like Dodgers run line. But the Rockies bullpen is a little stretched. Senzatella 2 or 3, Romano 2 or 3, Herget back to back, Bernardino back to back. I don't know, Rabbit. I don't know. And Lorenzen is a gas can. Wrobleski's been good, but Colorado's hit lefties. I think I'm leaving this one because the play for me is Dodger cover, but the model is not there. We're below 3/4 of a run, and I normally don't do that. Maybe it's a decent parlay piece if you think they outlast him at the end. But Scott gave it up yesterday, too, for the Dodgers, so I'm not really into this. I think I'm going to just leave this one alone. I had Dodgers team total, but it's also 6 runs, a lot of runs. I mean, they easily get there. Lorenzen is not that good, and I'd be worried who's pitching the 5th, who's pitching the 6th and the 7th. I have no fucking clue. So give me the Dodgers score, I guess. All right, there is one more game, the doubleheader, but it's very hard to do any of it. We think it's Gasser versus McGreevy, but we have no idea. So I'm not going to waste my time or yours. I'm fucking exhausted. Let's get the fudge out of here. To all my people up in the comments, the Corked Stats crew, I love you much. If you are thinking about signing up, check out the pin post on Substack. It's free. And it has little screenshots of everything that you get. Give you an idea, and you might say, fuck, man, it's going to save me a lot of time, which I think it will. And also remember, there's a metric ton of football stuff. If you like the baseball stuff, there's a football equivalent. And I'd imagine if you see the value in the baseball stuff, we're going to melt your fucking brain with the football stuff because it's all included in the same price. No one is doing this. You know, where I'm providing a model with advanced statistics, all the differentials, EPA, success rate, man zone, and cover packages, like really awesome stuff. Plus all the prop betting stuff. You know, again, I take recommendations, so that's why the football stuff is so good for prop betting. So like QB rush yards and QB rush yards allowed, running back receptions, you know, tight end receptions, the things that we like the ladder that you kind of have to isolate and split. That for $2 a week, there's just no fucking chance it's worth your time. So that's always been my thing, whether or not you like me or the show. I like to think I'm providing enough value to make it worth the fucking money. And if you sign up for the year, you get the last month for free. I am so tired of fucking shilling for myself. So to all the usual suspects, UMC, Carolina Daddy, B Rose, and the Nose. Who knows? If you know, you know. I really do appreciate you guys taking out your time, you know, to support the show, all being very vocal about it. It fucking is so awesome, man. We're making the hard charge towards 1,000 subs, and I might actually get monetized one day, which would be fucking pretty damn sweet. So thanks for picking up. We're putting down here at Corked Stats. Keep an eye out for the football stuff. I'm going to do a re-rack of the rankings either today or tomorrow. I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball because we're preparing to drive down the coast to Virginia for the All-Star break. During the break, I'll probably do some football note stuff on Substack. Don't call me. I won't call you. Don't ask me about the fucking home run derby. I don't give a So enjoy the games, enjoy the day. When we're done with the book, enjoy the pay. And remember, when you work this hard, winning feels a lot less like luck, yo.